A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. It's ZMH286, Patricia and David. And it's been a pretty decent day here today. Those that are on their way, and boy, the ocean is getting quite busy. But it's 19 degrees and it's quite late in the day. But we've had a very blustery day, 18 to 20 from the southwest at the moment. 1013.7, about 50% cloud cover, but it has been a decent day. And a decent day for Nina on Enola, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Nina. I tell you what, you might be sort of disappointed to be at sea on your birthday, but being back here in New Zealand, there's not much you can do to celebrate a birthday. Nina's warm blue skies that they were experiencing this morning, and I'll get to where they were or are in a moment. But boy, you can't do much here in New Zealand at the moment. We had 44 new cases of COVID-19 today, 3 in the Waikato, and we are awaiting news as to what's happening in Northland in terms of a change of status. They are currently in level 2, but that might change it on the half hour. We're waiting for an announcement. There's just not much you can do to celebrate a birthday here in New Zealand at the moment. David was asking me what I wanted to do at the end of the month, but I was thinking originally of going to Raglan because it's quite a nice trip from here to give the cars a run. They have been stuck in the garage. But you can't get to Raglan, of course, because it's in a different part of New Zealand, in the Waikato, which is now increasingly under lockdown because of the number of COVIDs. It's stretching further and further south. You can't get north, of course, because there is you just can't get out of the Auckland province. You can't go to a restaurant, so you might as well be at sea. You wouldn't want to be at sea, however, where the US Navy nuclear-powered attack submarine USS Connecticut, it's a Sea Wolf class, they struck an object while submerged a few days ago, while operating, as they say, in international waters. They wouldn't say otherwise, would they? In the Indo-Pacific region. It's making its way to Guam for assessment. They don't actually know what they hit at this stage. Some of you may want to come to New Zealand who are not New Zealanders, and you will be heartened to hear that the government has created a pathway for about 165,000 workers and families. If you are in the chosen occupation, we need 5,000 in health and aged care, 9,000 people in primary industry, 800 teachers. This, I suspect, resulted from a survey of 150 businesses which they reported this week, and this survey found that their main concerns were, number one, skills and labour shortages, followed by immigration issues. You folk coming back to New Zealand will see a very, very different New Zealand from what you left. Apart from all of the problems of not being able to move around, lots of restrictions, some of them not very logical. For example, you can in Auckland only visit somebody, and you can be outside to visit them, but you cannot go in if you need to go to the toilet. So it's just really, really weird here at the moment. And you certainly can't go out of the Auckland area, and in fact, you wouldn't want to at the moment. The entire north and south Highway 1 is closed off at the Bombay Hills because a truck went down, it was a Fletcher building truck, and rolled and burst into flames, and has totally shut down both the southbound and northbound parts of the road. He unfortunately lost his life, but boy, the road is going to take a long time to open. What a mess. Okay, let's go and see where the boats are. We'll start with our birthday girl, Nina, and Scott on Enola. They left probably the first of the lot that went from Nandi in this last lot. They have a 46-foot pack. They left on Sunday. Now at 26 and 174 with about 14 knots of southerlies. So happy birthday, Nina. I actually looked up what a Libra would have today in the paper. So if you're a Libra, anybody out there, September 23 to October 23, it says you'll think strategically. Impulsiveness is not categorically wrong, but it works best when the large aims and the overall picture are ever in view. Well, there you are. So they're looking at the long term, getting to New Zealand, hopefully with 12 days or more. Actually, I worked on that one today. It's not all that difficult, really. What I did was look at the latitude of Mandy and the latitude of Opua, 18 degrees going down to 35 south. So you've got a 17-degree difference. Divide that by 11 because you can do it 12 days you've got. And that means 1.5 degrees a day. So what I would do is just do a table and the number of days, and I'd advance it by 1.5 degrees each day. And then you'd have a table to keep track of any gains and losses. What I would do would be to be very slow for the first 7 degrees down to about 25 because it's kind of more decent weather there, and you just don't probably want to muck around for the last 7 degrees. And then you've got a bit in the middle that you can sort of keep track of your gains and losses and listen to what David might have to say. But it is possible to do. So good luck on those that are trying to accommodate the passage with the 12 degrees. Sorry, the 12 days. All right, let's go to the other boat. T. Toku Kia, who left Savu, the only one that's left Savu on this particular passage. He's at 2046 and 17742 east with 15 degrees of southeasterlies. And then there's a clutch of boats. Barracuda is at 2346 and 17216, doing 6.6 on a course of 258 with 14 knots of southeast, according to what I'm looking at. And they have got, there's a sort of a clutch. I've decided that the 3 boats is a clutch, and quite a few boats would be a gaggle. But anyway, Venture Lady is a bit behind, 2-3 and 3-3, and over a little bit to the east, 17254, and also Sight Office is just to the east of Barracuda. So they're 3 of them going together. There's another boat has left, looks like, I didn't take too much notice, Flip Flops, a British boat, left a couple of days ago, a Catamaran, who's at 2059, just a bit further west of Te Tokakia, 17635. And then going way to the east, we have Pura Vida. I'm not sure whether you guys can hear me, Devon, but anyway, Pura Vida is at 1638 and 15237, heading west. I always chuckle they're using Predict Wind, but boy, their speeds on Predict Wind, anything from 3 to 10, so it's a bit hard to know what's going on there. But anyway, that was about half an hour ago. There is no sign of the vessel Harmony, which I believe is out there as well. They must have a problem with the AIS. And we've also got Jubilate and Amici by the look of it. Jubilate left today from Mandy. Left at about 2:30. So quite a few people on their way. So we'll be looking at the weather coming south now, and probably next week I might look at coming on daily. So there we go. That's about it from me. Dave's just saying, ooh, but he doesn't do the weather every day. It doesn't change that quickly. So we'll pass the microphone now and see what he does have for the weekend at least.
Well, that's swaying forever. Anyway, hello again from the good old weather desk. And as Patricia has mentioned, we've got quite a few number of yachts that are on their way to New Zealand, either from Fiji or French Polynesia, and maybe some other areas as well. We're dominates the area from the islands to New Zealand. It's centered nearly over Norfolk Island. Pressure 1021. So it's a nice mellow high that's sitting there, quite broad, very nice. It ridges to the east, so yachts north of about 25 south have easterly quadrant winds, and south of 25 you've got westerly quadrant winds. Now there is another high which is centered just east of the date line, so that we've got wind convergence from these two highs at about 170 west. And a trough forms, which runs roughly north to south. The best way to put it, not exactly that, but you get the idea. Yachts that are on the east side of 170 west will encounter the trough as they progress to the west or southwest, depending upon where they're located. Anyway, on the way to New Zealand. But this is a fairly mild trough, so I would say not to worry too much about it. So again, two highs coming together, creating a trough. That trough is merging or converging, as we would say properly, at about 170 west, to repeat myself. Presently, yachts on run line from Fiji to New Zealand will encounter basically southerlies if you're west of the date line. And by next week, we'll call it maybe the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, give or take on that. The western high is going to move east, drift east, to roughly 25 south and the date line. So that's about where it's going to be located at that point. So winds to the west of this location will, of course, be backing. So at 25 south, expect north to north-northwest winds. And if you're down there at about 30 south, northwest winds. Now, during this period, there is a very aggressive depression that moves west to east, as they generally do, at roughly 45 to 50 south. So it's way down there. It's almost below the South Island, but it's a very nasty depression. Not going to affect the yachts directly that are heading to New Zealand this time, but it's there. It's also going to be sending up some swells that you'll certainly take note of as you progress toward New Zealand. Now, on Thursday next week, we may see a depression forming near 30 south and 177 east. So I'll say that again. On Thursday, a depression looks like it's forming on or about 30 and 177 east. Now this low grows, it intensifies, and by next Friday, a week from today, it should be centered near 35 south and 171 west. Now the low continues to move, I would say east-southeast to about 154 west, roughly. So it will be out of the picture for the migrating yachts by Sunday, the 17th of October. So at that time, not much worry about that one. Now, a nice high continues to shift east by the 17th, and that will be centered 35 south and the date line. We should have very nice winds to New Zealand at that point. Moderate northerly quadrant winds, so that will be quite pleasant as you're heading down toward New Zealand. Now, for those of you in Fiji, we're shifting gears now. For those of you in Fiji, for the weekend, the group should experience basically cloudy periods and some showers right through Sunday. Winds for Saturday, expect mild southeast winds, I would say 10 to 15 knots. And on Sunday, I would say east-southeast to southeast winds about 10 to 15 knots. So pretty mellow weekend. Winds are going to pick up on Monday, still out of the southeast, but I would say 20 to 25 knots over Kendabu and southwest BE Labu. If you were to draw a line between Kendabu and BE Labu and extend it in both directions, if you're on the southwest side of it, that's where the winds are, 20 to 25 knots. But on the other side of it, for the rest of the group, it's fairly mellow. I see 10 to 15 knots. So really, unless you're well out of the way of BE the southwest of it, or southwest of Kendabu, it should be a pretty decent weekend. So all the information that I gave you before probably sounded a bit confusing, but what we're trying to do is just give you a general idea of what the winds are going to do for really the next 10 days or so. I could go out further than that, but it's really to no avail because the models just are not going to be able to pick up with any accuracy what the situation is going to be. So I would say that since nobody's really talking to us, if you have questions and you have email, probably the best thing to do would be to email us, and we'll do our best to give you some information. I know most of you well, I shouldn't say that. I'm guessing that most of you have a router, and also you're able to pick up model data with your satellite system as well. So you really don't need us from that standpoint. But if you want another opinion, then you can check in, and we'll see what we can do there. So that's all I've got. Here's the chief.
I wouldn't think that most people have routers. They're too damn expensive. It's a lot easier to email you. And by the way, folks, if you want to email David, GHradio at extra, which is just XTRA, extra, which is extra, tango, Romeo, alpha, .co.nz. So it's a very silly email address, isn't it, extra? Because a lot of people put the E in it, which it shouldn't have. All right, I'm just going to turn up the Kaio antenna. Is there anybody wanting to make contact? There still has not been anything from Chris Hopkins' address at 6:30. There's nothing being announced for Northland as to whether they're going to go into level 3 or not. It is quite important because if you arrive in New Zealand and they are in level 3 in Northland, you won't be able to do anything. So there you go. Well, is there anybody wanting to make contact? Please call now. Sorry, go ahead. You were quite strong, but I had the other radio up. Go ahead.
This is Venture Lady.
Very good afternoon, Venture Lady, and I hope it's going quite well for you. I see you're just to the east of and a little bit behind Barracuda. So go ahead, over.
Yes, could you give me that email address again, please? Over.
Certainly, it's GHradio, and it's short for Gulf Harbour Radio, but just abbreviated to GHradio at extra.co.nz. That's our national system here, Extra. It's xtra.co.nz. What is your name, over?
This is Andy on Venture Lady, and with Alison, 2 persons on board.
Okay, got you, Andy. A very good signal, actually. So excellent signal from you, and good afternoon to you both. And certainly got you here on the AIS, and good sailing to you. You're just sort of doing a run line, and I presume you have all your visas, etc., ready for New Zealand, over?
Yeah, the documentation is already. We're not quite on the run line. We're going further west to go around this, I suppose it's a high pressure, stay in the wind, and then come back to the run line.
Okay, so you're going to be getting to the North Island around Friday. I'm just going to pass the microphone to David.
Yeah, greetings, first of all. And regarding Friday, which that's the 15th, I think it is, we're looking at a high, and you probably have seen it on some of the data that you're getting, a 1020 high that's going to be centered just to the west of New Zealand. There is a low to the east of New Zealand. That's the one that I mentioned that is going to intensify and slowly move to the east-southeast. And in between the two is a bit of a swash zone, so you're going to have some winds that are coming out of the south. And so getting into New Zealand on Friday, my guess would be winds south, maybe southeast, from what I could gather. Hang on 1 minute. Yep, that's about it. There's probably going to be a little bit of drizzle and whatnot out of this when you come in. It just depends on when on Friday that you arrive. But it should be a good arrival, other than you're going to have winds, looks like on the nose. Over.
Yeah, well, in that case, we'll probably delay arrival for a couple of days and then that pass through. Over.
Okay, delay for a couple of days.
Okay, that would certainly help out because as the high moves east, it's going to be about a 1026 high, and the center is going to be, looks to me like 35 south, roughly 35 south, and the date line. So your winds are going to be north-northeast at that point in time, north-northeast. Over.
Yeah, okay. We'll be coming in from the west of North Cape. So we want to ride on a northwesterly wind if possible.
Yeah, well, that's a ways away, but that's good. Let's keep our fingers crossed that that's going to be okay for you. There is going to be basically some small troughs that are behind this that might involve you, but they look like they're far enough away where I don't think you're going to have any worry from them at all. But no, it sounds good, and certainly better to have northerly quadrant than southerly quadrant winds. So good idea. Over.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. We will see you later. Over.
Okay, we'll certainly be in touch again on Monday with something a little bit more up to date. And by the way, folks who are arriving, Northland moves to level 3 tonight, midnight tonight. So there will be no boating, regardless of whether you are free to go or have to quarantine. So level 3 does not allow for any, well, actually it sort of does, but you can't stop in many places. It's very confusing. So I'm not sure what they're going to do in Northland. We actually can go out in the Auckland area at level 3 on our boat. We cannot go to Great Barrier or get off at Waiheke or anything like that, but we can go out and fish if we want to and come back again. It's all very confusing. Is there anybody else wanting to make contact? Please call.
Barracuda.
Well, a very good afternoon to Barracuda. Graham. and an excellent signal from you too. Over.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you. We've been listening to Harbour Radio through last week as we were starting the passage. Nice being home. We're traveling pretty much in company especially, and that's also with the same office. And then the left is that we're all in contact with over here, enjoying a very nice passage so far. Over.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been too bad a day here too, but yes, it's being out at sea is just something we can dream about at the moment. But anyway, what are your plans when you get to New Zealand, when you are allowed to move about? Over?
Our intention is to take both away, and then we need to get back to the UK for a while. So we'll lay the boat up there and arrange for some work to be done. We then head back home and take care of things there, and then hopefully come back in about a year's time, and magically things will be sorted. Over.
Yeah, don't we all wish that will be the case? Yes, well, it'll be interesting. You'll probably. How long have you been away from the UK for? Over?
I've been on the road for 2 years this trip, so we're ready to get home. Things we need to do. Over.
Yeah, and it will be a little bit different situation there from what you left, I imagine. Okay, well, you would have heard David talking to Venture Lady, and a really good signal from Andy there, so I don't think there will probably be any other questions, but anything else, over?
Not from me. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, and yeah, wonderful to talk to people with such a good signal. Is there anybody else? No, nothing heard. So we'll be back on Monday, folks. Have a very good sail over the weekend, all you folk on passage. Nothing too grim, so that's all good. And yeah, you can ask what the weather's going to be like here, but we'll soon find out, I guess. We can't do much of what we usually do on the weekend because of the lockdown, so it doesn't really matter. I haven't bothered to ask. This is Patricia David, wishing you all a good weekend, and again, a very happy birthday to Nina, and we will be back same time on Monday. Cheers, everybody.